Today we are working Psalm 101. Now, traditionally, Psalm 101 is used when we want to overcome some sort of habit, especially some sort of habit that's destructive. And you can overcome any kind of destructive habit, whether it be a habit of thought or whether it be like a habit like smoking or biting your fingernails, anything at all. So the way we work these psalm spells is very simple and easy and powerful. We take the psalm in question and we read it all the way through once without stopping. And then we go back through that same psalm and we take it verse by verse and we dig those verses, and we find occult hidden meanings within the words in those verses. And it's through this digging and contemplating that we are actually plowing those fertile grounds, those fertile fields, the soil of our deep mind, and planting those seeds that we find there, which in a very real way then take root and grow and blossom forth and bear fruit after their kind. And that's what we're going to do together right now with Psalm 101. I will sing of mercy and judgment. Unto thee, O Lord, will I sing. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. O when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within mine house with a perfect heart. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. A froward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. Whoso privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that hath an high look and a proud heart will I not suffer. Mine eye shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within mine house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city of the Lord. All right. So, keeping in mind always the reason why we've come here, we always want a goal. So, you're trying to overcome some sort of habit of thought or mind. So, maybe it's something that you can think of that's a habit that you'd like to let go of. And let's start applying these seeds of wisdom right to that goal. So it starts out with, I will sing of mercy and judgment. Unto thee, O Lord, will I sing. So we are addressing the Lord, and it's always very, very important that we discover for ourselves and become very clear with ourselves what we mean when we say the Lord. We're talking about a pre-gender force that there is only one of. It's a singular force. There's only one force in all the universe. There are not many different gods. There is only one force. Now, there may be manifestations of many different gods, but they are all like a rainbow of colors to the one light. So there is only one, and it's important to understand that there's only one, because then you realize that there's nothing to oppose it. There's nothing to thwart it. So that's why one with God is a majority, and that no matter what our needs, God is the way to overcome or to excel in whatever reason we are coming to the Psalms. So I will sing of mercy and judgment. Unto thee, O Lord, will I sing. Well, to sing in this sense is to affirm. It's to make real. So as we sing of something, we are reciting a spell. We are creating magic. We are creating that which we desire. And what we desire is that which God can give us, and only God can give us. So I will sing of mercy unto thee, O Lord, will I sing. So I will sing of mercy and judgment. So mercy is that fourth sphere on the tree of life, and it encompasses all good. It's not just the stopping of a problem. It is the inclusion of everything that is good. Now, judgment is number 5 on the tree of life. It's the polar opposite. So mercy and judgment is perfect equilibrium, perfect balance. And we want God's judgment. We want God to come in and judge everything that is not perfect for us and take away all of those habits from us that are standing in the way of all our good. So we want God's mercy on us and our judgment and God's judgment on our habits. We want God to keep everything that is right for us and let go of and extract everything that is not good for us. Unto thee, O Lord, will I sing. So we're singing to God. We're recognizing that God, again, this is not a male deity. This is a pre-gender deity. God is the only power. And so when we sing unto God, we are acknowledging that there is nothing to oppose it. And there's no way that this habit can withstand the power of God. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. So we are singing our spell that we will behave wisely in a perfect way. And so God's way is the perfect way. God's way is the way of wisdom. And so when we are saying that we are going to behave wisely in a perfect way, that means that we are allowing ourselves to be guided and led in every single moment. We are not making decisions all by ourselves. We are allowing God's way to be revealed to us. And therefore, all we need to do is follow the path that is set before us. We don't have to decide what wise and perfect mean. It is given to us. It is shown to us. Oh, when wilt thou come unto me? So this is a rhetorical question. When's God going to come unto us? God comes unto us when we come unto God's path. God's nature is responsiveness. All receiving must be preceded by giving. So God can't come unto us until we come unto God. It's just the law. It's the law. Otherwise, God's attacking us. God will never attack us. So God's not going to just come in and do things for us because God thinks it's a good idea. God waits patiently for us to approach, and then God comes and does what we need. So we ask for God, and God answers. That's always the way it works. That's when God will come unto us, when we ask. I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. Now, our house is our mind. Our house is our mind. Our house is our inner world. That's the truth. The invisible world is the true house. So you're going to walk in your mind with a perfect heart. And a perfect heart is the heart that God created for us. So we want only that which God created. Anything else that we've created on top of God's creation is what causes the problems. So we want to, that's again why we want God's judgment, so that we can have separated out from us that which is not God's will. So that's walking within my house with a perfect heart. That's the heart that God created for us. We are already coded for success in any endeavor because God created a perfect heart. Now, heart means soul. Heart is an ancient Chaldean phrase for soul. So a perfect heart means a perfect soul, and our soul has to be perfect because God created it. The only way that we can try to mess up our soul is through something called our personality. But our personality is something that we create, that it's like an overlay on top of our soul. Our soul can't be changed. Our soul cannot be imperfect in any way. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. That means I'm not going to imagine wicked things. I'm not going to imagine, the worst possible outcome. I'm going to take control of my mind. I'm not going to let it just run amok and start thinking things that are not right for me, because I understand how the mind is creative. So I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I'm not going to think of wicked things. I'm going to keep on top of my thoughts. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. So we're not talking about people. We're talking about our thoughts. And to say I hate in biblical terms, in psalmic terms, means I turn away from. So I turn away from the tendency of my mind to move towards that, to move towards creating that which I do not want, to creating that which is not good for me. I turn away those tendencies in my mind, and I turn back my mind toward God, because when I'm thinking about God, I'm really thinking. And when I'm not thinking about God and I'm not being disciplined with my mind, I'm not really thinking at all. I'm starting to put my mind to sleep and start dreaming dreams that are awful. A froward heart shall depart from me. Oops. And there we go. A froward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. Again, we're talking about our own thoughts. People in the Psalms represent individual thoughts. So, and then a froward heart, that's a difficult soul. A difficult soul shall depart from me. So we're not really, the soul of a froward heart is really the seed of negative thoughts, the seed of negative and destructive and limited thinking. Because a soul technically can't be froward, but this is a poetic way of talking about the soul of those negative thoughts, or the seed of those negative thoughts shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. So I'm not even going to know what a negative thought is anymore. Whoso privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. Now, we're not really talking about slandering your neighbor in the physical world, although that is included. That is included in this. We're talking about the thoughts in our mind which go against us, which are self-destructive. Whoso privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. We're going to cut out all those tendencies of thought that lean towards self-destruction. Him that hath a high look and a proud heart will I not suffer. So that's the arrogance of our ego mind, the way that we can try to separate ourselves from who we are, the way that we try to separate ourselves from perfection, separate ourselves from God, the only way you can separate and distinguish yourself from perfection is by entertaining thoughts of imperfection. So that's a type of arrogance. That's what arrogance truly is thinking of yourself in a way that God did not create you. In other words, trying to one-up God, trying to separate yourself from God, trying to be, quote, better than God. The only way that you can be better than perfect is by being imperfect. So these are all thoughts that you're not good enough, that you're less than, that you're imperfect in some way. Those are all arrogant thoughts. Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell within me. So the land is the totality of your mind, and it's also recognizing that the totality of your mind tends to be reflected in your physical circumstances. So mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. So the faithful of the land are those thoughts that recognize the truth rather than those thoughts which are self-destructive. And so those thoughts which recognize the truth, that remember God in every single moment, those thoughts start reflecting themselves on the land itself, and then you get the results that you've come to the psalm for. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. So that is talking about your inner guidance. So that which walketh in a perfect way is there to guide you at every moment of time and point of space. You are always with inner guidance. You always have a guide. You're never without guidance. There's never a time where you cannot ask for help and you receive it, and he walks with you. And he is just because of the psalm, but that inner guide always walks with you in a perfect way and serves you, because that's what it was created to do for you, to keep you safe as you traverse this land. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. So he that telleth lies, we are talking about your ego as a whole. So any thought that tell lies. Now, what are the lies that we tell ourselves? I'm not good enough. There's something wrong with me. I'm separate. I'm alone. I'm in danger. Nothing good can happen for me. Only bad things are lurking. I have so much to be afraid of. I need to protect myself. I must defend myself. Those are all lies, and those lies aren't going to dwell. They're not going to tarry. They're not going to hang out anymore in your sight. And in your sight, meaning you're not going to see them. You're not going to see them in your mind, and therefore you won't see the results of them in your world. I will early destroy all the wicked of the land. So the second that you notice that your mind is wandering off into those wilderness thoughts of negativity and self-destruction, the second you notice it, you're going to pluck those thoughts out of your mind. And the only way you do that is by remembering God. That's all you have to do, is you pivot to thoughts of God. You pivot to thoughts of God. You don't have to, in fact, you don't want to battle those thoughts, because then you're actually giving them what they want, and that is attention. So you starve them out by moving your focus from thinking and dwelling on those thoughts and start thinking about God instead. That's how you early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city of the Lord. You're going to cut off the thinking by just stopping it, And as soon as you stop those negative thoughts and you think of God instead, then what do you get? You get the city of the Lord, and the city of the Lord is what you already dwell in, but you don't realize it. Just like Dorothy didn't realize she was still already in Kansas before she had to click her heels, and she always had the power to go back to Kansas. It's because she was safely asleep in her bed in Kansas. And as soon as she woke up to that fact, all was well. All was well. And that's the same with you. You are already dwelling in the city of the Lord. And by working a psalm like this, you wake up to the fact that all is well. And therefore, you no longer have those habits, whatever you came to the psalm for. They just dissolve, just like the Wicked Witch of the West dissolved. Now, remember the Wicked Witch of the West and that story. Let's use that as a symbol here, that Dorothy didn't set out to throw water on the Wicked Witch to melt her. Dorothy was just trying to help her friend. Dorothy was just trying to do the right thing. And as a result of that act of compassion, the witch had to die. So the same goes for us. It's not that we have to go battle these habits. It's just that out of an act of compassion for ourselves, we are turning our thoughts back to God. And as we do that, these habits are destroyed and vaporized just easily, and we don't have to worry about them. So you just keep coming back to the psalm every day until you get a sense of peace and certainty that all is well with whatever goal was that you brought to the psalm. And then as soon as you feel that peace, you know that your spell has taken and you don't have to work on that anymore. You can move on to something else. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. Until next time, blessed be.